What's up, scorers? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Nope, no guests today. No guests today, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love having guests. I love having former NBA players, but it's hard to get them. It's hard to get them. Not because they BSing around or anything, but we got to be on the same time. My last interview with Josh Powell. Shout out to Josh Powell. He lives in Atlanta. I live in LA. So I now have to figure out what time works for us because of the 3-hour difference. So if I'm done my day at 8 and he is 11 over there, he probably winding down. Or if it's 1 o'clock for me, he probably doing something over there at 4 o'clock with his kids or whatnot. So it's challenging to get guests, but I'm very grateful and thankful that the guys who do show up for us are people of their word and respect the platform. So I hope you guys is staying locked in, tuned in, and watching all the episodes and all the interviews that we putting out. Now, this week, it's the end of August, and basketball is starting to slow down. People are starting to go back to school, all that good stuff. But we still got some topics. I was talking to my boy, and I was talking to him about Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant is obviously one of the greatest players of all time. But my boy was like, yo, I don't really got him top 10 because of the move he made with the Warriors. And I'm like, damn, a decision? All he did was make a decision. Like if you wasn't appreciated at your job, or you felt like your job wasn't doing the best by you to make sure your talents wasn't showcased, would you stay? You probably wouldn't stay. But then you'll ask yourself, well, I wouldn't go to the competitor. Well, did you ever think about the other options? Like, now let's say you live in a place like Los Angeles, right? And you wanted a better situation than Los Angeles. Are you going to go to San Antonio? Are you going to go to San Antonio? Because that's where, that was one of the better options for KD. It was San Antonio. They had a great team. They had Tony Parker. They had LaMarcus Aldridge. They had Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, a winning coach led by Greg Popovich. But do you want to go to San Antonio? Coming from OKC, that's lateral movement. Then you'll say, okay, cool, man. Why didn't you go to Miami then? Well, Miami wasn't really a team that was going to be a contender. He was a contender. You got to remember, this guy went to the finals. He led this team to the finals at one point. And he wanted to be back there. He wanted to get back to that position. I don't think Miami would have been it. Same thing with Boston. Boston was there too. But they had Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is a phenomenal player. But was Boston better than OKC? I don't think so. Then you go with the Clippers. The Clippers are good. They had Chris Paul, they had DeAndre Jordan, they had Blake Griffin, and it's LA, a major market city. But then it becomes a thing of what fits me, what fits my style. I just couldn't see Kevin Durant going to the Los Angeles Clippers and they have a system. What system the Clippers run? What system they run over there? The next one is the Warriors. The Warriors have a flow system, a system where the ball just flows, it moves, and they just keep moving the ball, and it's going to end up in the hands that it should end up in if you're moving the ball the proper way. And results, he wins 2 championships going with that. So I don't think it was a bad business decision. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm with you. I think it didn't look good. Doesn't look good when you make moves like that. But if you're thinking business rather than this gladiator story where you should be loyal and you should stay here and you should stay with these guys and rough it out, you're going to miss it. You're not going to get it. Then I had to look at how OKC treat their players. First off, OKC is the new franchise at that time. James Harden won 6th man for them. They didn't want to pay him. They didn't think he was worth the money. He goes to Houston. You already know what he did in Houston. You already know what he did in Houston. He averaged over 36 points for Houston. Made Houston a contender. He was only a hamstring away from going to the finals. If Chris Paul doesn't blow his hamstring out, he's going to the finals. Russell Westbrook, 4 times he averaged a triple-double. Oscar did it once, but this guy did it 4 times. 3 of those times was in an OKC jersey. Won the MVP in an OKC jersey. They let him go. They had Paul George. Paul George came over for a couple seasons and was an all-star for him. Averaged 27 points for him. They let him go to. Carmelo Anthony, Hoodie Melo. He comes out, averaged 16 points in a great trio. They let him go. So it makes me think maybe it just wasn't all Kevin Durant. Maybe it was the ownership being young themselves, trying to figure things out. And it makes sense of why they won the championship this year, because they had players where they can develop. Nobody was expecting OKC to win. Even when OKC was number one in the NBA, people were saying, oh, they might win. They might get to the final. They was number one. They had the number one scorer in the league on their team. And people were still saying, I don't know, maybe, hope it's looking good for them. I think the Lakers might win it. Because that's a market where you can develop players. KD already was developed. He wanted change immediately. They didn't want to make the change. So am I mad that he went to a team that fit his style of play? No. I think it could have been better. I think he could have let it breathe, though. I think he could have let a year go by, they OKC little tank or something like that. It's like dating your ex best friend. Like, at least let it die down a little bit. Let a year go by or something. That's a joke. But I'm not mad at KD. I'm not mad at KD, but you tell me, when you guys gonna forgive KD? On this next segment, I want to talk about the top 10 foreigners of all time. I'm talking about guys who actually grew up in the country. I'm not talking about guys like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, technically, he's from Australia. He was raised in Jersey. Let's calm down. Patrick Ewing, he's from Kingston, Jamaica. Let's relax. He came over here at 12. Like, let's calm down. We talking about guys like Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem Olajuwon is from Nigeria. Grew up in Nigeria. Didn't start playing basketball until about 15 years old. Two-time champion, two-time MVP, two-time defensive player of the year. And he won it in the same year as he won it in the MVP. You got to salute him. Then you got to go Nikola Jokic. Shout out to Serbia. Nikola Jokic has 3 MVPs, 6 All-Stars, 1 championship, and 1 Finals MVP. And honestly, I believe he just changed the way we view centers. He revolutionized the center position at this point. I mean, he's the only center to average a triple-double. And trust me, he's going to average a triple-double for his career. He's not too far off. I believe he's averaging about 21 points, 10 rebounds, and about 7 assists for his career. I could be wrong. I'm flowing off the top of my head here. But he's my number 2. Number 3, Giannis. Giannis, I mean, a freak of nature when it comes to athleticism. Shout out to Greece. I mean, he won the championship, 2-time MVP. He also won the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year all in 1 year. 9-time All-Star. And listen, man, I know some guys going to be like, oh, why you didn't put Dirk in front of him? Giannis is a power forward. He's my type of power forward. He can run the court. He can play defense. And then sometimes, occasionally, he can hit some stretch shots, but I don't need him shooting it all the time. I need him doing what he does, playing defense, blocking shots, running the court. And he can put the ball on the ground, and I ain't mad at that. My number 4, SGA. SGA is up there. He's nice. He's done things that most people can't do. In fact, what he did this past year, only a few can have done it. Shaq, Kareem, and Jordan are the only ones that's got a Finals MVP, season MVP, led the league in scoring, and won an NBA championship all in 1 year. SGA put his name on that list. However, I got to see more. I got to see him do at least 2-3 times before you convince me, because Jokic's been doing it. Giannis been doing it. I got to see SGA do a few more times. Luka Doncic, man. I like Luka. Luka came in the league on fire. Rookie of the year, averaging 21 points, 5-time All-Star, scoring champion, Western Conference Finals MVP, and he give you more on the court than Dirk. I know you waiting for Dirk's name to come up, but listen, he gives you more on the court. You're talking about a guy who averaging 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. You can't tell me it was a time Dirk would have did that. But ain't no offense to Dirk. This is a prestigious list. If he was on his list, he definitely did his thing. And then coming up, what you all been waiting for, Dirk. Dirk is right after Luka, in my opinion. 1 MVP, 1 Finals MVP, won a championship, 14-time All-Star. And if I need a guy to stretch the floor, I'm calling on Dirk. And I know what you guys are saying. Oh, man, but Dirk won a championship before Luka. Yes, very, very true. In his 13th year. Give Luka 13 years, bruh. Up into that championship, he was teetering just like Luka. Just like Luka was in the finals a couple years ago. Dirk was in the finals the 7th, 8th year, lost to the Miami Heat. So I got to show respect to the abilities that Luka has over Dirk. Next, Steve Nash. You got to show Steve Nash love, man. 2-time MVP, 5-time assist leader, 8-time All-Star, and he changed the game with the way we play with pace. Like that team, that Suns run, him and D'Antoni, the way he was moving that basketball, it changed the game. No one can stop it. No one has seen it yet because everybody was dumping the ball down low. Everybody would slow it down, wait for the big man to come. Steve Nash, he whipping that thing. He made everybody around him look great. So you got to put him on the list. Tony Parker. Tony Parker is next up on the list, 4-time champion, 1 finals MVP, 6-time All-Star. And I like his game because he get a basket. He know how to get a basket. And I put him on this list because that 2007 finals, I'm not going to front, he outshined Tim Duncan. He looked unstoppable. So shout out to Tony Parker. 9th on the list, Paul Gasol. I could have put him above Tony Parker, but I'm not going to lie. Did put Tony Parker ahead of him because of the rings. And I know how hard it is to play the point guard position. In a championship culture, the pressure that comes with that, I got to give it to him. I got to give it to Tony Parker, but Gasol is right after. He's a 2-time champion himself. He's a 6-time All-Star. He stayed consistent, though. This is the reason why I like Powell, because he stayed consistent in Memphis and with the Lakers and in other areas like Chicago. So think about it. In Memphis, he averaged about 18, 20 points. Then he went to the Lakers and did the same thing alongside Kobe Bryant. And to be honest, I really think he should have won the finals MVP when they won it in 2010. But that's neither here or there. Paul Gasol's that guy. Paul Gasol's 9th on the list. And last on my list, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, I think people sleep on him because he's injured, but Joel Embiid scores 70 points, bro. 70 points as a 7-footer. He can shoot the 3. He can pass. He can post up. He can dribble. The only thing he can't do is stay healthy. But other than that, he's a superstar. He's an MVP. He led the league in scoring. 7-time All-Star. Can't be mad at it. And my honorable mentions, I'm going to throw Ginobili in there. Ginobili is my honorable mention. He didn't make the top 10 because he didn't start. I know you go, oh, Ginobili had 4 rings, but he didn't start, bro. He didn't start, and you can't tell me you would have chosen Ginobili over anybody I just named. And Peja Stojakovic, I like Peja. Peja was a phenomenal shooter. I liked him for the Sacramento Kings. I liked him for New Orleans. I liked him for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm happy he got a ring with those guys. And Hedo Turkoglu. I like Hedo Turkoglu. Hedo Turkoglu was like a 6'10" point guard for the Orlando Magic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. My next segment, I want to talk about something that slipped through the cracks. Something that you don't hear often. The trades that hurt players' momentum and image. For instance, right? Damian Lillard. I don't know how close he was to a champion, but I feel like he should have waited a little bit. I feel like he should have been a lifer when it came to the Portland Trailblazers. My man averaged 32 points. Averaged 32 points with the Portland Trailblazers. He was there for 10 years. Then he says, okay, cool. I'm going to go to the Bucks. I'm going to go to the Bucks where they just won the championship a couple years prior. Now he goes through these injuries. Now he's going back to Portland. Cooked his momentum. Doesn't hurt his image. We'll always look at Dame as one of those guys. But what if Dame waited around? I know what you're thinking. Well, nobody was coming to Portland. But he was the only attractive thing there. So you just never know how the chips would have fell. You just never, at least give him a chance to hit the final something. Nonetheless, he's still a legend in my eyes. I think he's going to be amazing. I think he's a Hall of Famer. But it hurt his momentum. Guys like Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was my favorite player. Everybody think LeBron is my favorite player. Nope, it's Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was not the same to me when he went to the Denver Nuggets. He went from averaging 31 points to 24 points. And if anyone knows basketball, you know the difference in the points. It's just not the margin. It's about how aggressive you are, the shots you take. So if we all grew up watching Allen Iverson and he averaged 31 points, that means he took a lot of shots. And that was the fun part of his game. That was the part that kept the pressure on the other team. But then you go to Denver and you average 24 points, that aggressiveness goes down. Now we're seeing a different Allen Iverson. And this one's my favorite, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was on a path of being one of the greatest big men of all time. I still think he's one of the greatest big men of all time, but he was up there though. He was rolling. Now every time you think about the big men, you got to say, what about Dwight Howard in his prime? Now, I'm not saying the Lakers messed his back up, but I will say the Lakers with Dwight was a failed super team. Dwight was an all-star for the Lakers, but you don't remember that. You know what you remember? Him and Kobe beefing and everyone calling him soft. That's what you remember about Dwight Howard playing for the Lakers the first time. Now, you might not agree with me on this one. I think Kyrie Irving took a hit by requesting a trade or going somewhere else after going to the finals those back-to-back years. He wanted to win without LeBron and didn't do it. He hasn't won without LeBron since. He got to the finals. Yep, as the second guy once again. I think that hurt him. I think because now when you ask for those trades, and you say, I want to be the big dog, and then you don't show big dog results, it hurts your game. It hurts your legacy. People start to see maybe he wasn't a leader. Maybe he was only good for certain things but not winning. In my opinion, it hurt his momentum. Russell Westbrook. Now, I am a little skeptical about OKC culture when it comes to the superstars. I know they're great with developing players, but I don't know how good they are with the superstars. Russell Westbrook left OKC, and he went to the Rockets. He did great, averaged 27 points. He bounced around a little bit more with the Wizards, triple-double with the Wizards. Went to the Lakers, averaged 18 points. But over time, you start to see the numbers, and then you start to look at other things like percentage and how impactful and the decision making. Now you're starting to see how he plays because the flash is not as big as it used to be in OKC. In OKC, it was explosive. It was exciting. Oh my God, who cares? Nobody cares about that turnover. But when you go put him on a team like the Wizards and you realize the Wizards not moving, you put him on a team with the Rockets and they didn't move much. You start to look at it like, now the momentum is killed. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is another guy. Jimmy Butler should have stayed in Miami. But the thing that kills Jimmy Butler is his relationship with the GMs. He had a bad relationship with the Sixers GM. He had a bad relationship with the Timberwolves GM. He had a bad relationship with the Heat GM. So it takes away from his game. The guy that we know who can hoop, we're looking at him like, yo, man, when you going to win something? Chris Paul. Chris Paul, in my opinion, out of everyone on this list, had the most chances. He did great with the Suns. He went to the finals with the Suns. He did great with the Houston Rockets. He was conference finals. He did great with the Clippers. I think the Clippers, I think that team should have won. But because he did so many trades and there's so much, now guys, it's like, okay, here we go again. Get us to the finals or you get us to the second round, great, but you're not going to win us the championship. And I think that when guys start to move around like Chris Paul, you start to see like, yeah, he makes the team better, but he just don't know how to get him over the hump. Paul George, in my opinion, I'm not going to say he had a lot of momentum to get a championship. I think it's more about a decline for him. You know, he did great with the Pacers. He did great with OKC. He did okay with the Clippers. And then it's just downhill from there. It's just a lot of just, things that, probably not to say a shell of itself, but just mediocre if you're comparing it to the Paul George we was hoping for. And it got to the point where he started doing a podcast and then people called him Podcast P, and then next thing you know, he's not doing nothing for the Sixers. He's barely shooting. Trades, movement can kill your momentum. And I think it's something we all can learn from this. We're just not on the court, off the court as well. Like too much movement, not staying consistent, not focusing on the journey, trying to get the lower hanging fruit, trying to bounce the team that you think gonna win, can kill your momentum. It can hurt your legacy. It can hurt your image. So make your next move your best move. Which draft class is better, 96 or 2003? The reason why I'm asking this question, because me and my guy was talking the other day. My memory is not the best, so I couldn't really go back and forth with him to give him stats and all this other stuff. But I said 96 off rip. But I don't like to be wrong without research. So I looked, and I'm like, you know what? Let's take 11 guys. Let's take 11 notable names from each draft class, and let's see how the numbers pan out with these 11 guys. So the first one for 96 is Kobe, then Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, Ray Allen, Antoine Walker, Jermaine O'Neal, Marcus Camby, Peja Stojakovic, Stephen Marbury, and Sharif Abdul-Rahim, and Derek Fisher. Then we go to the 2003. LeBron James, D. Wade, Chris Bosh, Melo, Chris Kaman, David West, Barbosa, Boris Diaw, Josh Howard, Mo Williams, and my 11th guy is Kyle Korver. Now, I gotta be honest, man. 96, they blow them out of the water. They blow them out of the water, man. You add up the points, the career points, by each person. Point-wise, 96, 184 points. 03, 168 points. Rebounds-wise, they would get 53 rebounds a game. 96 would. The 2003, 50 rebounds a game. Now, shooter percentage, the 03 got him by 44%. And the 96 at 40%. But you got some shooters over there. You got some jackers. I ain't going to lie to you, man. You got some Kobe Bryant, some Allen Iverson, so you expect that. But let me know what you guys think. Is it a landslide for the 96 class? How would you match this up? How would you make your case that the 03 is better than the 96 draft? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Shout out to John Wall, man. John Wall had an amazing career. He was one of the guys who started off the explosive point guard era. I wish we could have seen him play more without the injuries, because you could tell he was great. I mean, he was a 5-time All-Star. He made a defensive team. He was on an all-rookie first team. I mean, he led the NBA in steals. He's still the franchise leader for the Wizards when it comes to assists and steals. Couldn't stay healthy. If you remember John Wall on the mixtapes, it was insane. You remember him at Kentucky. He was the SEC Player of the Year in 2010. First team All-American. I mean, he was a dog, bro. He was a dog. So salute to him and an amazing career. And I hope I can get him on the show, man. Y'all try to get him on the show for me. I want to get him on the show. I want to talk about his journey. I want to talk about his upbringing, his underdog story. I want to talk about how he overcame all these challenges when it comes to his injuries or whatnot. But nonetheless, man, shout out to him. Shout out to an amazing career. And I hope you keep doing big things, big dog. For my last segment, Brainwash to Think Elite. Brainwash to Think Elite is a segment where we talk about our problems, our issues, and how we overcame them with the hopes that we inspire and motivate others. Today's segment, I want to talk about how you might not be ready for your vision and you don't even know it. You got these big ideas. You got these $1 million schemes. You want to do it. You want to be successful. But are you ready for the success that you're asking for? Think about it. If you have $1 million idea and you want to make millions of dollars, how are you going to make it? You gonna make it by yourself? You can't. Can't make it by yourself. So if you have a hard time managing your family, your friends, managing your emotions towards them, how are you gonna manage strangers? How are you gonna manage people you don't know if you have to trust them in helping you build your empire? Are you a person who takes first before you give to others? Are you a selfless leader? Or are you a selfish leader? Are you able to do these things? If you behind on payroll and you ain't pay yourself yet, are you going to give your employees their money first and you have to rough it out? Are you prepared for that? Are you mentally prepared for that? Some people aren't. I had to do that plenty of times. There's some times where I'm giving out money and my employees made more than me. The people I'm working with was making more than me. Or I'm breaking even. But it's part of the game. I make sure they got paid. They trust me. They depend on me. Got to make it happen. Are you ready for that? In 2021, I started Scorer Society. When I first started, I just wanted to do the merch thing. I just wanted to merch, get y'all some shorts. But I realized there was more to it. It was more to it, and it took more time. Although I had this big idea for Scorer Society, I didn't have enough time. I didn't have enough time to do the work that was necessary. I was coaching 2 different basketball programs. One basketball program be my own. I'm answering emails all day. By the time I get home, I'm cooked. I couldn't even imagine having to go home and then having to package clothes and then ship them. By myself, I was good financially. So the ambition wasn't always there. I wasn't ready for the vision of Score Society to be where it is. I wasn't ready just yet. Things had to move around a little bit. It took years for things to move around. It took years for me to find the vision. Remember, I said merch. Look at me now. I got my podcast and I'm interviewing NBA players. How did I get to that? I had to develop. I had to develop the brand. I had to learn patience. Do you have patience? Are you prepared to grow something or develop your idea for 5 years without seeing no money? Are you prepared for that? That's what I'm doing. Everything you see right now has been funded by moi. The money I go out there and make, I put back into this. Are you prepared for that? You want your vision to be big, but is your sacrifice big? I can't remember the last time I've been out to a club. Can't tell you the last time I've been to a club. Can't tell you the last time I've been out for a drink. Maybe, I don't know, a month or 2 months ago. Can't remember the last time I was eating out consistently every day. Can't remember it because I'm saving my money, putting back into this because I see a vision for it. But this vision had to develop over years, over time. Go look at the old videos. The videos that you see now don't look like it looked before. In the beginning of this year, our Instagram was for 4,000 followers. We're up to 22,000 followers. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's progress. Are you prepared for that type of progress, though? Are you prepared for that slow progress? Same thing with our YouTube. YouTube was at 12,000, and that's 26,000. Are we getting the interaction that we want? No. We're patient. We understand it's a brand that needs to be developed. The work needs to be put in. Not only did the work need to be put in with the task, it has to be put in with yourself. Yourself. This is the hardest job you ever want to do in your life is work on you. Everything else is already there. Whatever you want, the cars, the house, whatever you want, is already there, but you have to develop you to get there. You have to develop you to get those things. And they're just trophies. It's nothing more fun than watching this thing grow. But you gotta prepare yourself for the vision. Until next time, let's continue to think elite and together. Welcome to Score Society.